Hello, everybody. This is DFS Chan talking about. I'm going to go over the August 15th, Sunday, LOL LCK DFS 2-game slate. It's the last day of LCK Summer Split regular season. So, so we're going to go over the 2-game slate. This is going to be the last 2-game slate of a best of 3 series for LCK or really any major region. Like I said, the LCK is the only major region remaining that is trying to finish the regular season. So we are going to go over that. And then for the rest of the playoffs, they're going to be best of 5 series, as you guys probably saw with LPL and LCS and LEC. So I'm going to go over there real quick, this slate. So this is going to be the last slate for best of 3 series, Hanwha Life versus T1. That's the first game on the slate. And I would like to see first where these two teams are on the standings and then go over the playoff motivation. So here, as you can see, T1 is in the 3rd place. And as you can see, the records are real tight. Some of these teams have already played all their games for the season, but some have not. Like, for instance, T1, GenG, and Nonshim are all, three of the 4 teams that are on the slate today. And then obviously T1 is playing against Hanwha Life, who has been eliminated from the playoffs. So so Hanwha Life obviously does not have any motivation here for the playoffs. So who knows who they're gonna start and such. I mean, as you can see here, like Dudu, Morgan, Willer, Johan. So really, I mean, unfortunately, we're gonna get some confirmation on these starters, but I'm not, as you guys will hear from my analysis, I'm not gonna play much Hanwha Life today. I'm gonna be focused on a lot of T1 players because, as you can see, T1 still has a shot at finishing top 2 here because, well, first of all, top 2 in the LCK playoffs is very important because, top 2 in the LCK tournament, they get a bye. T1, if they win 2-0 today against Hanwha Life, their game differential will go to plus 10. And then if Nonshim loses, either 1-2 or 0-2, then it's going to go down to plus 9 or plus 8 and go down here, even because they will be sharing the same record at 12 and 6. So there's a lot of motivation for T1. So that means I think they're going to start the usual starters. So so T1 has all the motivation in the world today. To finish here, I said T1 needs to win 2-0 with some help from Nonshim for a chance at top 2. So I'll have a lot of T1 here today. And just matchup wise, like I said, I always look at the combined kills per minute metric to see how bloody this matchup is going to be or projected to be. As you can see, it's not going to be a higher kill upside because, as you know, T1 plays very slow. So here I have a 1.38 combined kills per minute for the matchup for all of their games combined. And then for their July and August games, it actually has decreased. Actually, you can see that Hanwha Life has been playing a tad bit slower as well as T1. So, that's not a good trend for DFS purposes. So most likely I'll probably get a short stack of T1 here. And then maybe some long stack in some lineups because I'm not going to have much exposure to Hanwha Life here today. The second LCK matchup is between Nonshim and GenG. The odds I think the odds opened, the Vegas sportsbook opened at even odds for these two teams. And it's a very tough matchup, like I said. Just from the playoffs motivation standpoint, as you can see here, GenG, has a chance to finish above the 4th spot that they're in right now if they win their game, because if Nonshim loses here, they're going to be plus 8. If GenG wins 2-0, obviously from that game, they're gonna be tied at 12-6 record, but +8 differential, game differential wise. But GenG actually has beat Nonshim, as you can see here, in the regular season so far. So GenG would have the tiebreaker, and they would finish above Nonshim here. So, yeah, I mean it's gonna be a very interesting slate. I think just also the fact that maybe in the first LCK game, if T1, based on how T1 plays, that may sway the motivation for Nonshim or GenG, because obviously if T1 loses or something happens, if T1 does not put any pressure on Nonshim or GenG here, then yeah, I mean the GenG or Nonshim is not gonna have as much motivation, for the for playoff purposes. So we'll see how that pans out, but it'll be interesting to see if those players actually, keep track of what happens in the first game or not. So. But in terms of the actual DFS production, so combined kills per minute for Nonshim and GenG, this matchup is obviously, like I said, higher than Hanwha Life and T1 game. Here, as you can see, even for July and August games, both teams have been playing on the faster side, as you can see here. So the trend is really good for DFS purposes. And given the fact that I feel like this has a lot more motivation attached to both teams, sometimes that can slow things down because they don't want to make any game-costing mistakes. But sometimes that can also mean that they try to win early game and snowball the lead, and that can sometimes obviously be a one-sided matchup, and then sometimes that can get bloody, for the other team to try to catch up and give up a lot of deaths. So yeah, so I don't know how that's gonna pan out, but I do think just based on the metrics, as you can see, jungle control percentage, Nonshim actually has been playing much better compared to GenG. I know there's a rumor that GenG has been playing really bad, and the management has been GenG management and the coaching staff have been putting a lot of pressure on the players, and that's why GenG hasn't been performing as well late in the split. I know GenG was at the top, early in the split, and they kind of came down, and now, like I said, they're in the 4th spot. So, some people were saying GenG was the most consistent team, and then they were playing really well early in the split, and then, I mean, their form has just gone down. So I don't know if that's something that they'll pick back up here late in the season. They've been so inconsistent, but unlike Nonshim has been more consistent than GenG, but still their stats aren't too great early game. They are more of a late scaling team. They tend to win games. Their win condition is tied to their winning team fights in mid to late game. So obviously, if they fall behind early to GenG, then they're not the type of team that they're gonna win skirmish through skirmish early in the game. So it's very important that Nonshim don't get behind too much early in the game. And I don't really foresee that. GenG is not the type of a team where they bully you in the laning phase early in the game and such and try to snowball there. So I think that's what their game plan is going to be today, just based on the matchup against Nonshim and just based on their review of the Nonshim tape, I'm sure, previous games. But I just feel like GenG does not have what it takes to do that, to snowball the early lead. So I like Nonshim here still. Like I said, the jungle control percentage has favored Nonshim, but also a lot of the other metrics have favored Nonshim here, as you can see. So for instance, I think a lot of the first tower and the herald and stuff. So yeah, so I favor Nonshim here. That's where I'm leaning. So I'll have a lot of T1 and then probably Nonshim for cash and then maybe GenG for GPP. So that's what I'm looking at so far. And the ownership projection is T1 probably going to be the highest, just based on Vegas odds. And some people may know about their playoffs motivation as well. So I think T1 is going to be very popular, even though that's going to be a slower matchup, most likely. Unless Hanwha Life doesn't really give a crap, and then Hanwha Life just throws bodies at T1. So that could happen. I don't know. It's the last game of the season, meaningless game for them, Hanwha Life. So they could like really just sub in new players or bench players and then just throw bodies, but who knows? I mean, more than likely not. I think T1 is gonna try to take care of business from a big picture standpoint, a macro game standpoint. So and then I think T1's still gonna be dictating the pace of the game, and I feel like they're still gonna end up with maybe like 10 to 15 kills, somewhere in between. So. But who knows? If Hanwha Life throws a lot of bodies at T1, I mean, there is a chance that T1 may end up getting 20 kills instead of 15 kills. So obviously every kill matters on a 2-game slate like this. But in the other LCK matchup, like I said, I'm going to probably have to favor Nonshim, but I know a lot of people will play GenG. I think I'll play some GenG as well for GPP purposes. So we'll see how that pans out. So. Anyway, so that's all I got for you guys today. It's a 2-game LCK slate, just fantastic. So I mean, I just cannot wait until maybe there will be a slate where there will be more than 2 games now that the regular seasons are over and all the playoffs are beginning. And I think next week, or actually tomorrow during the day, there's going to be an LEC and LCS slate. I think that's a 2-game slate as well, but best of 5 series. So I will try to share my comments, share my analysis, and then also some leans for that other slate. And then after that, I think there's gonna be some pause on some of the LOL slates because the playoffs, playoff games do not happen every day. Unlike the regular season games like in China. So, I think there will be here and there some slates, but obviously if there's a slate, I will make a video. And if I don't, I'll let you know. But most of the slates I'll try to make a video for. So, but yeah, if you have any questions on this 2-game slate, let me know. I think T1 is going to be very motivated and they're going to play well today. So I'm just going all in on T1. So we'll see how that pans out, and good luck, everybody, and let me know if you have any questions. Alrighty, bye-bye.